Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Conservatish, episode 278. God, I'm prolific. I'm just impressive as shit. Wherever you're listening, make sure you subscribe, share, rate, and review. Leave a comment. Jump down in the comments. I already see one from the Joseph Santos, almost saying Pete with tacos. I don't know why you're talking, just because we're both Latin, motherfucker. But yeah, just wanted to get on with the wonderful starring Amber, aka Amber McTerry, aka Misinformation. Thank you so much, my dear, for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my God. This is your second time on Conservatish, and I loved our first talk. I think, where the fuck was I living? I think I was living in New York at that point,
Yeah.
and I was visiting San Diego or something. But my oh my, has the world changed since then? And yeah, just okay. So we're streaming okay on all those. First things first, before we jump into all that, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Starring Amber. I have my handle right here at the bottom if you guys can see it. I'm on Twitter. I'm trying to get more active on Twitter. I just well, X, whatever you want to call it. But my handle on there is Misinfo Show. So it's MISSINFO Show with 2 underscores. And yeah, I'm on TikTok. I have the same handle on TikTok, Starring Amber. All my handles are the same everywhere except for Twitter because my Twitter with this name got banned. So
Oh, interesting. See,
yeah.
I was wondering why, because I was looking all over. I'm like, there's a lot of Amber McTerrys. There's a lot of starring Ambers. I'm like, where
Yeah.
the hell? All right, well, okay, okay, it's good you established that. How did you get kicked off of X?
Well, it's actually crazy. Like, okay, so I made a comment on I guess I made I made a comment about vaginas or something. It really has anything to do with like politics or anything. But this is the thing. I made a comment about vaginas. Someone said, I think they said I said something about something being in my vagina. And I guess a bunch of medical people. No, I mean I forgot what the context was, but I know it's something about in a vagina. And I guess people who went to like medical school or like things like that tagged me in this page called Bad Medical Takes or things like that. And it was like you can't go in a vagina, like being so like technical about it. Like people don't say in my vagina all the time. I guess they're trying to separate the get like right into the anatomy of the vagina. I was like, bro, y'all like acting crazy. And I like this lady was talking to me and I went and found her page on like Facebook and all that stuff, like posted her, and I found out what medical school she went to. So I low-key kind of doxed her, I guess, and they like mass reported my page all over because I said something about being in the vagina. Like
That's definitely more entertaining than I thought it was gonna be.
yeah.
I thought it was just like, oh, I called somebody a dick or something like that.
No, it was like I got in trouble for doxing, technically, I guess. So.
Oh well. Well, at least now we can all find you at Miss Info Show or
This
the Miss Info.
Show 2 underscores.
2 underscore where? 2 underscore after?
After it's Miss Info Show, then 2 underscores.
Okay. Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
And yeah, y'all should follow her. She do funny shit. And I've noticed that your new kind of studio setup is like, I mean, this is, I don't know what this is. This is
now I'm at home now, but I go to this podcast studio out here in LA now, and I know some people, and they help me like edit it and put it all together.
It
like,
looks and sounds fucking great.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to like change my little look a little bit. Maybe eventually one day I can do a little setup in my house, so it'd be like more like accessible all the time.
But then you'd get in trouble for saying something about going in your vagina. You know what I mean? So, it'd all be ruined anyway. So we were talking about a couple of things, and hello everybody, welcome to the live stream. We were talking about a couple of things before we started streaming, and I do want to delve into a lot of things, but the main event, the main thing that we want to eventually talk about is why the Democrats are leaving or why the black people, why you people are leaving the Democrat Party. Okay. I've been fucking saying this for fucking years. Okay. I remember I made a video a year ago, specifically a year and a half ago, calling out black people saying, listen, you guys are not actually Democrats. Meaning, and I gave some pertinent examples, and I'll bring them up now. Go up to any black woman and ask her, any black mother, and ask her if she's cool if a drag queen reads to her son. Okay. She'll hit you in the fucking throat with a chancla. Okay.
Right.
Go up to any black man and ask him if he wants Ukraine to have more of his money. Stop, bro. Stop, bro. Right.
Yeah.
So, and we could talk about why that is, but let's first establish, do you see your experience in Los Angeles, your experience with your friends and family and cousins and whoever else back down in the South, are black people leaving the Democrat Party?
Yeah, I believe a lot of black people are leaving the Democrat Party, and the thing is, I just think a lot of us, including myself, I feel like we've been under a spell for a very, very long time, like from generations to generations to generation, and it took Trump to come and like knock the spell out, you know. And I think it was the fact that just seeing the media and everyone's perspective change about Trump all of a sudden, like, you know. So I feel like that's what it took. And then aside from that, like the whole virus thing, I think the virus was a big part of it too, because like even though a lot of black people wasn't going to get that Jabberwocky thing, like they tell you about the Tuskegee, the little Tuskegee experiment.
Yeah.
Exactly, like nobody was going to get that, and we saw exactly who was pushing it. You know, so I feel like that whole Trump entire presidency like really knocked that spell on a lot of black people.
Right.
That's what's happening.
Well, apparently it's taken a lot more because it's like we had to get duped. All of us, and I don't just mean black people, had to get duped, and certainly not me. I was hip to it. Just to show how fucking old I am. I was hip to the shit prior to the George Floyd riots. But when that shit tipped off, it made black people go, oh, no, even though my money's okay and things are actually all right, maybe this motherfucker's not that bad. Look at, 50 Cent as an example. Remember when I want to tweet about this. Remember when 50 Cent got publicly buck broken by that fucking turd Chelsea Handler on Twitter? Do you remember that shit?
Yes, I remember that.
What the fuck was that? And I have a bone to pick with you black people because you're some of the strongest, most vocal, outspoken motherfuckers in the world, and you let 50 Cent get buck broken by fugly ass Chelsea Handler, bro.
And then like even like things like that, like the Joe Biden thing, saying like you ain't black. I feel like that's another thing that like woke something up in a lot of people too. Like you telling me like just because I support these type of policies, I got to support Joe Biden. Like Joe Biden, you wrote the whole crime bill. Like, what do you mean I'm not black?
Can you please accentuate that one more time? Joe Biden wrote the 94.
Bill. Yeah. Yep, the crime bill. I think it was another one in the 80s. I think he took a part in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like two of them he helped with. So like, how are you going to tell me I'm not black and you the one, like you put legislation in to hurt black people? Trump didn't do any of that. You know?
Kamala Harris has entered the chat.
Right? The top cop who goes on Breakfast Club and joke about smoking weed, like you didn't lock people up.
She just put out some fucking statement I saw where it said, "Oh no, the people shouldn't go to jail for." How about you let them out, you funky bitch?
I saw that. And then now they're trying to copy Trump. Even Biden trying to release people for marijuana. I'm like, bro, you locked them up. Like, what type of shit are y'all on right now?
Right.
Like, you see what I'm saying?
Well, and this is the thing that I think we're all kind of hopefully coming to realize is that it's not about what it looks like on the front. It doesn't matter if it has an R or a D next to the motherfucker's name. The problem is, well, it's deep, but let's just say at least the surface of the problem. Once we scratch that first layer of, oh, you're all corrupt pieces of shit. Oh, you're all fucking pedo. Like you're all fucking sus. Then we can start taking a look at, okay, is the institution itself a problem? Is the institution of Washington, D.C. itself just a hotbed, an attractor of the psychopathic and the untrustworthy? And I believe that the absolute 100% fucking answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? I think I've been noticing like a pattern too, though. Like I think I've seen like, okay, black people, like that's a lot, not everybody, but I've been seeing people go conservative and then eventually they go independent. You know, and I think that's how to play in it as well. Because like I don't think things are as surface, like it's deeper than the surface. You know, like I don't think much has changed. Like it changed, but it didn't change. Like if you get what I'm saying, like
yeah. And maybe this is jumping ahead, but this is part of the reason. So like for me, I was Democrat, just, perfunctory, whatever, in prior to 2016. Trump wins. Some ex-girlfriend calls me on the night Trump wins and she's crying, we're all going to die. And I'm like, I don't like the motherfucker, but I don't think we're all going to die.
Yeah.
6 months later, Milo Yiannopoulos is trending online. Remember Milo Yiannopoulos? Yeah. So everybody's saying, oh, he's Satan, blah, blah, he's Hitler, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, let me find out for my fucking self. And boom, I fell down a rabbit hole for like 48 hours of just YouTube videos of Milo and Jordan Peterson and Camille Paglia and all these. You got to look up Camille Paglia, everybody.
What did you see?
Her. Camille Paglia is a woman. She's a teacher up in, I think she's up in the Northeast. She's an old school feminist, not this second, third wave horseshit, fourth wave horseshit. She's like old school shit. She's so fucking based and so smart. You got to look her up. Love Camille Paglia. Anyway, so I fell down that rabbit hole for 48 hours and I realized, I actually agree with a lot of what things these motherfuckers are saying. And they've been touted as, they're Hitler and they're blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? I think it's time maybe I stretch my political definitions a little bit.
So what type of things did you see though?
I saw them talking about, you know what? Well, there was a lot. I think the biggest thing was the speech stuff, the woke speech stuff. This was 16, 17. So it was really, really ramping out that whole, you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say that. And then the Me Too movement was getting all fucking bungled, or maybe it was intentionally put that way. So it was a reaction to the, you know what it is too? And this is why I think Black people are usually pretty good at this, which is I'm very grateful that you guys are catching up. But is I smell abuse, as a former both victim, of bullies and also a bully myself. I know what that is and I smell that. And so even though it came under the guise of, I just care a lot. That's why I want to control your speech. I just care a lot. That's why I want to take all your fucking money. I just care about a lot. That's why I want to take away your guns, like take away your rights. That even though on the surface it was under the guise of care, I realized, they're just fucking bullies. You know what I mean? And it made me have a visceral, angry reaction,
Yeah, that issue, like even when you like look at the things they keep showing us to keep us scared. Like they really are bullies. Like look at the propaganda they put on things that's supposed to be dedicated to Black people, like the BET stuff. Like all you see is like things that make you scared. And like, oh yes, we need you, we need help, and things like it's so deep. And imagine like growing up, that's all you see on TV. Like that's all your community talks about. That's all that's around you. So they've been bullying us for a long time. I feel like finally it's like a revolution is happening, like a Black American revolution. You know.
Yeah, Patrice O'Neal, the greatest comedian of all time, R.I.P. Patrice O'Neal used to say, Black people are only known in relation to white people. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, Black, whenever the NAA, well, we'll talk about that. But like whenever the subject of Black people comes up, then it's like, well, how am I in relation to white people? That's emasculating. That's gross. That's insulting. Like there's 41 million different Black people in this country. That's 41 million different experiences, 41 billion different stories about those experiences, perceptions around those stories of it. Like to say there's the Black experience is fucking retarded. It really, it just
like,
is.
Even at the NAACP awards I was at, they were making like jokes. All the jokes were like in relation to white people. I'm like, come on now. Like
now,
like,
now, so okay, so you went to the NAACP awards. What why?
Well, I got invited, so because I work with Medium. I have a friend who works at the news station, so she gets invited to these events and stuff like that. So I'm like, why not go see a bunch of celebrities? Whatever, cool. So I just went because I was invited. It was a cool experience though, and I just was looking around like the NAACP, the reputation they have. So like the fact that this is what it is for me. I feel
do it.
I just feel like Black people now, like the video you posted when I was saying, I'm not African, because I'm not African. I've never been to Africa. I'm an American, right? And Africans was getting so mad in the comments as if I insulted them. Like, why are y'all so mad because I said I'm not African? I just said nothing about you. I was born in America. I don't know. No one's in my family has ever been to Africa. So when I go to this NAACP award, that was created by, these people, if you know what I'm talking about. And to see
No,
African,
not really. Hang on, pause. What do you mean? That was created by these?
well, allegedly, the NAACP
Oh,
organization was partly or created by,
okay, non-blacks.
yeah,
Okay, got it. All right,
yeah,
we'll put that aside for now. For now, we'll put that aside.
yeah.
Continue.
So you know how like this black identity, this tribal thing they try to brainwash into, and for me to go to the awards show and see Africans getting NAACP awards, and the NAACP was supposed to be for, wasn't that supposed to be for black people in America, like black American things, right? But I'm seeing like Africans and all these foreigners up there getting awards. You know what I'm saying? That's like how they try to brainwash us into this black thing, and I feel like they're trying to like ethnically like cleanse black Americans. Like Kamala, like say we're all black. No, we're not. Like, like Obama. Yeah, Obama's kind of black, but he's like Kenyan. Like he has no ancestry, no black American ancestry in this country. Neither does Kamala. Even his press secretary. I think she's from somewhere else too. So I just don't feel like they don't put like they don't want black Americans to like, and it's gonna make us think we're all the same when we're not,
And why? Because this is part of the thing. Like for years, I would roll my eyes. I think a lot of people rolled our eyes when when black men, because this was always the trope for years. Oh, they trying to dress me up in a dress to fucking emasculate me, right? Yeah. And I rolled my eyes. Over the last couple of years, I'm like, oh shit, they're dressing them up in the dress to emasculate. Like the fucking raving lunatic, Black Power guy was right. Holy shit. How the fuck did that happen, right? So why do you feel like, because in my personal opinion, I kind of feel like they are being this abhorrently emasculating, insulting, discounting, because they actually don't respect black people. I am never one to go racism first, but it fucking feels like it.
Yeah. I just think they just don't want us to have any self-worth. If you don't have any self-worth, your community is like, it's bound to fail, so they try to emasculate the men, then they tell us, oh yeah, we're all the same and we're all not. I just think it's weird how everybody else, a lot of people can celebrate their own ethnicity, except for when it comes to a black American. Even people in Africa get mad when a black American say they want to be an American. Like why do we have to relate to everybody all over the world? We're different, we're not the same, but I just feel like they just want to like brainwash us and not let us see our own worth, so we can just feel as a community. And it's been successful, not even gonna lie, for a long time. But I feel like even though people are waking up, like something inside me saying it's too late now, but like I just hope it's not. Like I just hope one day had that miracle, maybe a miracle or something would happen, and then like,
right, and we can get to that. But I also kind of do want to say, but what's the reason behind? Because it's easy. I think it's easy for us, and it's totally fucking true that they want to destabilize us so that they can discount us, right? Yeah. But this is I can't even fucking talk. This is especially pertinent to the black community because y'all learned this lesson way before everybody else did, or maybe white old poor whites in like post Civil War. But if you think you're a piece of shit, if you think you believe that you can't do it, if you feel like you're nothing without XYZ, the steadying hand of the government comes in and gives you that handout that you need, right? When I don't believe in myself, I lean on those who, again, are fucking abusive, right? Yeah. At best, they're bad at their job. The government is always shitty at everything it does, and yet for the last 50, 60 years, 70 years, black people have been going like, they've been getting the promise, and then they've been getting the dupe, and then they get the promise, and then they get the dupe, and over and over. This is, I feel like, the pertinent lesson. I keep using that word, but I feel like the most important lesson is not, okay, I'm a black guy, let me change my vote to Republican and think that's going to fucking fix it. No. This is way bigger. Like you said, this is way bigger than what my vote says. To think that all I need to do is go in a fucking booth and check a box once every 4 fucking years is delusional horseshit. Yeah. The government knows what it's doing. The oligarchs, specifically Bill Gates, George Soros, Klaus Schwab, all these cunts know what they're doing. and they will put on whatever clothing they need to. They'll make believe they're Democrats. They'll make believe they're Republicans. They just want power. They just want power, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question because I'm not sure. What would you? I don't know what the reason would be, like, for them to be targeting us like that. But I think at the end of the day, I think they just want a weak society as a whole, and Black people just was a target market, like the first people to try.
Totally.
Now
And
they kind of now they do it to everybody, you know. So I feel like they say, well, we finished with them. Now they're gonna let these immigrants in, and now they targeting everybody else, you know. Because I said something the other day when I was recording my podcast, because I had this I saw this video on TikTok of these because I've been interested in like other Black people lately, like other subcultures, and I was watching this TikTok with these girls. They were Jamaican. She was talking about how she read a book by Shirley Chisholm, who was talking about how when she moved to New York, she noticed that how they were putting Jamaican Americans over the Black Americans and giving them all the resources and stuff like that because they wanted a more docile group of Black people. You know, Black people back there were on it, the Black Panther shit and all that stuff. But the Jamaicans are going to come there and they're going to respect them because they just came to America. You know, they came in from Black. The Black people been here. They're like, okay, fuck that. We don't have to do this shit. And then they say, well, fuck y'all. We gonna bring the Jamaicans in and let them do the fuck they want to do. Now that they done destabilize us, they let more immigrants in to replace. I said, white people, y'all went to that Capitol. Y'all voted for Trump. Okay, y'all no longer are docile enough. Let's bring the migrants in from all over the world to replace the rest of you, and then put you second now. You know, that's why I feel that's the game that they're playing. And I just they target us first. I don't know why for some reason, but yeah, now they're going to everybody.
So, well, I mean, I don't want to sound like a fucking Black Power motherfucker, but I think, and it's not necessarily, okay, here's what it is, in my personal opinion. And I'm right all the time. And wherever you're fucking listening and watching, you should be subscribing to Amber Terry and Amber McTerry and also to Peter Feliciano. And I'm half Puerto Rican, so if you don't subscribe, you're racist. Hey. But here's the thing. I think we all have our gifts, right? Yeah. And we all have the light, whether you want to call it the light of God, that's what it really is. But if you want to call it, spiritual oneness with the universe and hippie shit, whether you want to call it energy, whether you want to call it gifts, there is something special in us. And when we suddenly feel ourselves like that Spider-Man after he gets the spider bite, he's like, holy shit, like wow, right? I'm capable, right? I'm powerful. I'm better than what the TV tells me. I'm better than what the teacher I'm better than, no, I can trust myself. Yeah. When we're in that mode, we're no longer dependent upon the government, on the oligarchs, on the NGOs, on the fucking faggots in UN. I was unsure whether I wanted to say faggot, but I just needed to get faggot out. If you work for the UN, you're a faggot. So by the way, I do not feel suicidal, everybody. Okay. So make sure but like when you're in that mode where you feel like you're less than, you reach for the steadying hand of the state. That's part of what, honestly, I feel like that's part of what they're doing with that's what they did in COVID. Get everybody scared, make them feel unsure, make them feel uneasy, and then provide them with the solution. Get this juice, right? And shame people who don't get the juice. And then okay, now we're going to segregate people. They're so bad for not getting the juice that we're going to not let them go to restaurants. And I mean, you said it at the top, Black people remain the least vaccinated demographic. I don't know if you know this, everybody. Black people remain the least vaccinated demographic in the entire country. As of February 15th, 2022, just as the mandates were ending, okay, only 40.5% of Black Americans were fully vaccinated, okay? And that's per the CDC's numbers. Who knows who got all those fakey cards, okay? So Black people held on to their balls better than anybody else. But as far as the dupe, I feel like there was still a position where everybody knows that they're unhappy, that they don't want to do this thing, they have a fakie, but I can't say it out loud because it might be still unpopular. Stephen A. Smith the other day comes out and he's saying like Biden's a piece of shit, or Trump's definitely going to win. He's facing zero backlash. Right. You've been out here for fucking 2 years talking that shit. Right. I've been out here for fucking years talking that shit. So, I mean, if it's genuine, welcome to the fucking party, Steven. But um but where am I going with that? I guess I'm just saying, like, when we believe in ourselves, we're capable. When we don't believe in ourselves, we reach for the government handout, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and they're doing a real good job of like making us not feel worthy. Like they've been doing they've been doing it for years. I'm just happy like things are like finally taking a turn. I even been seeing some people like saying they like Candace Owens now. Like a lot of people been saying it lately. Like, have you seen an interview with Joe Biden? I haven't watched it yet, but
No, I saw a trailer for it.
yeah, I just saw clips, but I've seen people share clips and they're like, oh my gosh, I think Candace is starting to make sense. I'm like, but at the end of the day, Candace isn't saying anything new, you know? So I think it's taking her, I think because she's going to like different platforms now and like just, I don't know, like people are like hearing her out more. So I'm seeing a lot of things like change lately. Like I'm glad to see that. So
Did you see Hotep? Do you follow Hotep
I
Jesus?
can follow him.
Yeah, he went on this fucking beautiful rant about, or no, it was Uncle Hotep, on the show the other day, making fun of Joe Biden's outfit or Joe Budden's outfit in that interview. Like he
Oh
looks like,
no.
he looks like Inspector Gadget.
No, I didn't see that. I'm gonna try to watch it tonight. I didn't see that.
Oh God, he does look like Inspector Gadget. Shout out to fucking Hotep. Yeah, no, because and you know what? This maybe is similar to what we're talking about. The Joe Budden thing, and I commented, they didn't see my comment, but I said the Joe Budden thing, what he's looking like, you know, obviously dress how you fucking want, obviously, but it feels disingenuous because it feels like this is the energy. John Legend.
What?
It feels like John Legend energy.
What do you say?
That here's what I mean. Crispy, clean, perfect diction, right? Now, I'm not saying like black people all talk like shit. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying I can tell, I think we all can viscerally, naturally tell when someone's being full of shit, right? Joe Budden's a fucking rapper.
Yeah.
Right? Why is he dressing like fucking like a Star Trek Enterprise fucking villain? Like what is this weird vibe? And here's what I think it is. I think it's disingenuous. They know that either the white audience that they're trying to court, right? The white liberals in fucking Brooklyn who like black people tame, let's be fucking real, or the actual money people, the oligarchs themselves, the people who are, you know, the fucking ADL money that provides all these people with their benefits and with their money and with their bag and with their whatever. I need to look and act a certain way. I need to look and act Obama-ish. I need to look and act John Legend-ish. I need to look and act Common-ish, right? Instead of my actual self, right? Because if they really gave a fuck, like if the money behind that move really gave a fuck, they would have put Ice Cube up way higher than he's been the last few years, right? But they don't want somebody who's gonna say what they want. Like no. And they do the same thing with whites. You think Taylor Swift wasn't made in a fucking factory, right? Like they do the same thing, but it's an extension of that same thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I didn't think about that though. Because Ice Cube honestly probably would have been a better fit for that conversation. You know,
right.
Maybe but Candace Owens could give him the attention maybe he's looking for.
Right. And Ice Cube probably might have agreed with her on a lot of shit, and they don't like that, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't watch the interview though, so I didn't really see like how he reacted to the things she was saying.
All I saw did you watch the trailer?
Which part? I saw a few parts. I saw when she was talking about. I just saw like when she was talking about Lizzo, and it was another part I saw. When she was talking about, I guess the industry, like the entertainment industry, and how it's controlled, and that's only two clips I saw.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Do you feel like Kanye has been an element to that? Like where a year ago when he fucking, you know, was really unpopular, or a year and a half ago for saying the shit he said. Do you feel like the streets was like with him on like, hey, speak for yourself, or were they like, no, get rid of his jobs, yeah, kick him off of Adidas, fuck his bank account?
I feel like more people was for him than not. They just wasn't saying it out loud.
Right. And
That's
again, regardless, in my opinion, of the content itself, but of, hey, be yourself, Kanye.
what do you mean?
Like, okay, here's another example. Charles Barkley,
Yeah.
Shaq, coming out of the side of their mouth and saying that Kyrie is a piece of shit for sharing something on Amazon, right? Or
Yeah.
for deciding not to get the juice. Like, that wasn't because they actually felt that. Like, they're a paid actor. They have to like toe the line,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
that's why I tweeted it out, a year ago or whatever when that happened. I was like, uh like P. Diddy even talks some shit. I'm like, all these people who they're propping up as like, these are the black thought leaders. I'm like, these are not popular people in the black community. Like, why are they the black thought leaders?
But no one cares about Charles Barkley. People were on Kyrie's side though. Like I think a lot of people were on his side. Just like that small controlled minority, like in the top media, who has to say what they tell them to say. No, more regular people, like I feel like everybody like saw what was going on. Like that was very dumb.
Right. When you went to the NAACP, so you went there, you had a good time, you got some, did you get at least a tote bag of some kind?
No, I didn't
No.
get anything.
Did you arrive in a limo?
No,
No.
I didn't drive it. I just pulled up, went inside. I had some good seats though.
Okay. Okay. Now here's maybe, because I'm interested in this idea. I talked about it a little bit on the description, and you've talked about it on your channel and on your posts. Everybody at Starring Amber. She is on Instagram or on Twitter. One more time, my dear. Where can people find you?
Miss Info Show, then 2 underscores.
All right. Yes, a lot of people are leaving the Democrat Party, and that's good. Thinking for ourselves, doing the, fucking, whatever. But there's a couple people who are talking a lot about it. You've talked about it. What's your thoughts on why conservatives, Republicans, lose the culture war as far as bridging that gap and welcoming the new former Democrats aboard?
Yeah, this is what I've been noticing. I feel like conservatives, a lot of people on the right, especially if you go on Twitter. I feel like Twitter is like a different world. Like when you go versus when you go on like Instagram and like things like that. You see like a lot of people who are supposed to be on the right. I feel like they prop up the worst kind of people. Like they give the worst people a platform that turn people away from the conservative or Republican Party. Like for example, even like have you seen this whole red pill movement that's going on now, like on Twitter?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of complicated because there's some people who are trad people, like who are like, killing chickens in their homestead or whatever, and that's called red pill. And then there's some people who are like manosphere people who are just their whole job is to talk shit about women.
Yeah, that part. I don't have
go
the
ahead.
trad part. That part right there. And I feel like conservative platform give these people a platform. Like Pearl. Like Pearl just says some off the wall things sometimes. I just feel like, and she goes on a Daily Wire and stuff like that. Now you're making women on the conservative side mad. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna make them independent. And then even on Fox News, okay, it's this guy who I was on a podcast with this guy. I don't know if you know him. Like a week or two ago. His name is Tommy Sotomayor or something like that. You probably don't know him. He's not nobody to know. Okay, trust me.
Got it.
So I went on his podcast, right? Because I replied to a tweet he made one day. But this guy, he has a whole platform. His platform is dedicated to talking about black women, like trashing black women. If you go on Twitter, people use black women for clout and clickbait. You know what I'm saying? He has a whole platform from it. Yet he gets invited on Fox News. So I'm like, why are y'all giving these type of people platforms? Now black women, black people who don't agree with what he's saying, like, yeah, this is why people call y'all white supremacists. Because why would you this is the best black person you could find to give a platform now? I get Tucker. Y'all trying to find somebody because Tucker's gone, whatever. Now you're just giving anybody a platform. I just feel like sometimes they just give the most weird people a platform. And I think that's one reason why they can't win a culture war. They make poor decisions.
Right.
Pretty much.
And maybe sometimes it's intentional, like you're saying. Like I wouldn't put anything past Fox. I don't give a fuck if sometimes I'll take a clip and make a meme out of something good someone on Fox said, but But ultimately, I see them kind of as the same thing as CNN. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's
Especially now, I see the now I do for sure. After they
right.
fired Tucker and all that election stuff, yeah, they're the same.
Yeah,
Most
corporate approved tame opinions. Fuck you, you know.
yeah.
Um, some of it is intentional. I also feel like, in my opinion, a lot of the amateur, because I'm not talking about the thought leader, whatever, conservatives, a lot of amateurs, especially the white ones, don't pause and think past what they believed years ago. Here's an example. Because I'm gonna piss some people off, and I don't care. Because you need some fucking medicine. Open wide. Conservatives need to stop backing the blue. What do you mean? Who do you think enforced the mandates, kids? Oh, I'm against the mandates. Did AOC come and knock on your fucking restaurant and say, "Hey, you need to shut it down"? No, 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 no. The soldiers did, right?
Yep.
Now, a lot of cops, fair. I'm not saying all cops are bad or whatever, but a fair number of them quit and lost their jobs because of not deciding to toe the line. But George Soros isn't going to be the one. Bill Gates is not going to come and raid your farm because you didn't pasteurize the right way. It's the fucking cops who are going to do it, right? It's not who's that piece of shit, Beto O'Rourke. Where'd all his money for his campaign go? Anyway, Beto O'Rourke, who literally said on stage very loudly, "Oh yeah, hell yes, I'm going to take your AR-15s." Beto O'Rourke's not going to come knock on your door and try to take your gun. It's the cops, right? I'm not saying that a lot of cops aren't on our side ideologically. I'm not saying that they're all pieces of shit, but the institution itself allows for someone to have the authority to shoot me in the back, even though I'm unarmed, gives me the authority, right? Gives somebody the authority to shut down my business because I didn't do what fucking Nancy fucking Pelosi thought I should do with my fucking business, right? So I'm just saying that's another example of amateur conservatives not thinking outside the box. They just want to stay in 2017. They want to stay in 2018. Guys, we're in a war right now. Culturally, we can't afford to have this thing be a tiny tent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, well. So, are you saying? Do you think? How do you feel about cops in general? Do you think they should just not like tie themselves closely to cops so much, like not try to make the movie about like, or do you just think we should get rid of cops?
Well, okay. I think it's complicated, but because here's the other thing: a lot of conservatives were so scared and angry over what happened in 2020 that they solidified because George Floyd died of an overdose. They still were like, and again, that's not what I just said just now. Doesn't mean for all the liberals watching, there are none, but for all the liberals watching, that means that George deserved or that we shouldn't get rid of the neck kneel, whatever. But okay. Anyway, so because they got, like we were talking about earlier, they got the dupe too. Conservatives got duped too because they're law and order. I'm going to call for law and order, and the oligarchs go, "Thank you very much," right?
Yeah.
Because now the cops are like, "Yeah, okay, you want law and order? I got your law and order. How about you're not allowed to open your business unless you put masks on your fucking wearers?"
Yeah.
Right? You wanted law and order.
Yeah, see that just brings me to my next thought. I was just talking about this too, because like I feel like the NPCs aren't just on the left. Yeah, I think it's NPC. Y'all some NPCs too. I just feel like conservatives repeat certain things when they hear a liberal, like when they hear a liberal say, like y'all been trained to say these things as a response. You know, like it's NPCs on both sides. Like I'm realizing that too.
Yes, but I feel like we can, and maybe this is my fault, my delusion, but I don't think I'm wrong. But I feel like we can help evolve the NPC, right?
Yeah.
Look at the NPCs on the left. Over the last few years, they've been running the fuck away from the Democrat Party. and good for them, and we welcome them, right?
Yeah.
But if we're going to evolve enough to survive the coming psyops, then we're going to need to help our side, whatever our side is, evolve intellectually too, right? To not get so locked down in my emotions
Mhm.
that I say that cops can do no wrong,
Yeah.
or that immunity should still exist,
Yeah.
right? Whatever that not codified immunity, I can't remember the name. But that immunity should just automatically be, right?
Yeah. Just because, oh yeah, that's we've been trained to say that's the right thing to do in my eyes. Like, you're an
Right.
NPC.
Right. And just because I have an uncle or a cousin or a brother
Yeah.
or whatever who's a cop, like, so
That's
like,
like me saying, well, I'm black, so I gotta do this. Oh yeah, my uncle's a cop, so I gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are some NPCs.
yes, you can't be anti-identity politics if you then play identity politics.
Right.
We are the smartest stream in the fucking world, Amber.
Yes.
So you cool to go a little while longer?
Sure.
Okay. Make sure everybody you subscribe, share, rate, and review, and leave a comment, or you're racist. And you can find starring Amber McTerry right over here at the Miss Info Show on or 2_ after show on Twitter, and the rest at starring Amber with 2 R's.
Yep, 2 R's.
Okay. Now, so okay, how do we help us level up? Well, part of what helped, let's look at our experience with the left. Part of what helped the left or black people leave the left was obviously their shit behavior, right? The Democrats just ruining fucking everything.
Mhm.
So we could wait around for more cops to actually pull the trigger and try to take our guns. I would prefer not to wait for that. But we also did it with our voices, your show, my show, all the stuff we're talking, all our memes and all our whatever.
Yeah.
But it also takes a little bit of, I think, a certain spice. I don't anticipate you're the type of person, because we've been, following each other, whatever, for a couple of years. I don't anticipate you're the type of person who would, love the NAACP ticket so much that they don't say what is coming to her mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think we all also need to be circumspect. I think we also need to be careful about getting into our own bubbles in a way, right? My own intellectual bubble. Do you follow Anti-State on Instagram?
I don't.
Anti-State. Man, I love it. And I just wrote an article, by the way, about meme, because I'm also a meme maker and I'm amazing. But and a musician, and also bald. But I shouted him out in that because his memes, his content, Anti-State, actually helped me. You were talking about earlier about a lot of people have kind of leaned a little bit more independent, a little more libertarian. What helped me, so my journey was, I got red pilled or whatever in 2017. And my version of red pill was just, okay, MAGA. But after 2020, I started going, because I lived in New York during the pandemic, throughout the whole mandates and everything. I came out the other side of that going, oh, because I saw videos of cops escort people out of a theater and restaurants for not having a vax card, right? I saw that happen. I saw people get muscled into putting shit up and not allowing people into, and so that made me go, oh, wait a second. What if the institution doesn't need, like, what if the institution itself just needs an entire overhaul? And I'm not saying defund, because obviously, training requires money, and we need these motherfuckers to be the most trained, highest qualified, blah, 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 which requires more money. And that's complicated. But I'm saying I came out the other side of it, more libertarian, or more independent, whatever. Or really, just, you know what? Here's what it really fucking is. I don't owe anybody my loyalty.
Yeah.
No fucking politician is my guy. Even Trump. I like the motherfucker. I'll probably vote for the motherfucker. But I also have taken away my emotional investment in the idea of voting because I'm working on my own shit.
Yeah.
I'm buying my own self-defense armaments, right? I'm learning how to cook my own food and grow my own food and filter my own water and grow, and build my own stuff. And my sovereignty is a muscle that I started flexing when I realized, oh, they could take away my desire to eat because I don't have the right chemical in my body.
Yeah.
Right.
So like that's what this is the thing. Like, yeah, it's okay to I feel like the Republicans, they have policies that could benefit us better than Democrats at the end of the day, but still they can't like save you from anything. Because a lot of them, I think more of them are corrupt too than not. And I've been feeling this is what I've been feeling like kind of crazy. Not I won't say crazy, but I just been look. I don't want to come off as like, oh, like I told you earlier, I've been noticing like a lot of Black people going conservative and going independent. It's like a pipeline I'm noticing, okay? And I'm feeling like, I'm starting to understand why. But here's the thing: I don't want to say this, and people look at me. Oh, you're some liberal, pro-Black, because that's not even what I'm trying to be at all right now.
She got that NAACP money. They gave her a bag. No,
this is the thing, though, because like, okay, and this is why I feel like conservatives are NPCs too. So let's talk about so-called systemic racism. Okay, yeah, systemic racism. I don't feel like it's a thing like how people think it is. Like, it's not as surface level as it used to be. Like, it's not like, oh, Black people can't do this, Black people can't do that, or y'all can't come in this restroom, drink from the water fountain. Like, it's not like that. It's not like Jim Crow, things like that. I don't want to get your chance. Like, if I say what I want to say right now at the end, I don't want to be
I'm so ready. Listen, if you're new to Conservatish, everybody, fuck off if you can't handle words. Go for it.
I mean, because like I said, it's all about free thought, right? So, like,
yes.
I don't want to say, oh, this girl is anti-Semitic. We're not trying to say Black people are anti-Semitic, whatever. No, we just talk. I'm just telling you what I'm noticing, okay? The racism is not like that anymore. You know who controls the culture. We don't even control our own culture. Like, you know, like if a Black person want to go make a song that's more uplifting, more empowering, things like that, the system ain't gonna put that song out, you know. But if you get on TV and you go do some ratchet ghetto shit and talk about killing somebody or doing this and all your vagina, that's the shit they're gonna push, you know. So I just feel like they moved it to a different level, and and you know, the same people who control our culture control our politicians. You know what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, so like I just feel like it's in a level like that now, and I feel like Candace Owens is kind of seeing that too, you know. But I don't want to come off as like, oh, like, because it's not, at the end of the day, I'm not about that either. I'm just seeing like the systemic racism is not like what y'all think it is. And if a conservative hear a Black person say something about systemic racism, they've been trained to think about, oh no, it's not like that no more. No. Like to say this NPC response. I feel like no, it's not like that anymore. Right. I feel like it's different. Like,
and at 100%. And I want to delineate for the people who are watching right now. What did we say? You and I said earlier, you can't, be anti-identity politics and then fall right into the trap of another identity politics.
Yeah.
You can't do that for the fucking Jews either. You can't be like, all Jews never did anything wrong ever, no matter what. Or all Jews are all taking over and they're all bad people. Either way is incorrect.
Yeah.
Right? Either way, what did they just do to you? Divide, conquer. Divide, conquer. They did it to Blacks and whites. They did it to fucking Chinese and Blacks. They did it to this. They did it to Jews and divide, conquer. Fuck that. If you're listening to me right now, we need to evolve. We're facing oligarchs with trillions of fucking money. Okay, these motherfuckers, they got plans for us, kids. Right. And you think you're gonna fucking survive the coming struggle if you think everybody who happens to not have a fucking foreskin is evil, or everybody who wears a little hat is good no matter what? Right. Fucking, you're not here with us. You're not ready to evolve.
It's bad people in every race, every ethnicity. Like, everybody has its good and its bad. So the fact that they act like they purposely be dense to make it seem like somebody's like, oh, you talk about all these people, you're anti-Semitic. No, we just pointing out a pattern. Like,
yes. And criticism of Israel's fucking government is not anti-Semitic.
Right.
Criticism of Black Lives Matter is not anti. Ta-da! Are we seeing the puzzle pieces fit, ladies and gentlemen?
Exactly. Now we're getting there.
Ideological consistency, ladies and gentlemen. That's part of the way. Part of the way. And it's fun to make memes. It's fun to talk shit. It's fun to do jokes, right? But you know, that even includes a lot of the people who follow me, a lot of people who are rightfully critical of Israel's government, critical of the fucking ADL, who are they're worse than the fucking BLM because they've been sapping up that fucking money for a lot longer than the BLM has.
Right.
You know that you know the ADL's dick got hard when October 7th happened. Oh my God. They finally had a reason to justify $92 million fucking dollars a year. Anyway,
you know that they had their Black Lives Matter fees, their little Black Lives Matter.
Exactly. And where the fuck? And
that's
where
like
the fuck is?
That's like Black Lives Matter getting excited every time a Black person is killed by a cop. Oh my gosh! Okay, time to get the ball rolling.
Right. Now I get to take advantage of people. Right.
Exactly.
Same thing with Antifa. Antifa did that same shit. Oh, gee golly, another brown person I get to take advantage of. That's what Palestinians are to little upper middle class white fucking liberal pieces of shit. Listen, it's the same thing. Oh, black people don't like Joe Biden. No, Palestine. Right? Same shit. Right?
Same thing, different game.
So if we're going to level up, we need to make sure we don't fall into the same dupe trap that we see others fall into, because this is the thing. If we think I'm more evolved or you know what it is? If I think that conservatism is impossible to be infiltrated, I got another fucking thing coming. Right? Right. And by the way, for those who are super Trumpers, you're welcome here. And I'm not saying whatever, but he's been saying that same shit for fucking years. He said the swamp. He didn't say, oh, everybody except those who have an R next to their name. He said the fucking swamp, right? Everybody. So and listen, I'm very critical about a lot of things, you know, bump stock ban, all that shit. But if we're going to evolve, maybe the lesson is to stop investing emotionally in a fucking politician. What if that's the solution? Instead of RFK's going to save me, Trump's going to save me, DeSantis is going to save me, how about you're going to save you?
Right.
What about that? What if, I'll tell you this, black people, if you're watching right now, what if you're enough?
Exactly. Hello? What if you are enough? You are enough. Actually,
you are.
We all are enough.
Yes. Because this is
brainwashed to think you're not.
Yes. They wouldn't need to psyop us this hard if we weren't powerful.
Exactly. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're fucking doing. And maybe we'll start wrapping up. But I also think they're not good at what they do. Like they were good for a couple of years. They did the whole bait and switch. They did the whole I'm wearing kente cloth. See
now, that was really corny. That was super corny.
Yes.
And that's another thing right there. The African thing. That's the psyop I was talking about, the video you posted. Come on now. That's how they try to not make us feel worthy of our own land. We're from here. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Right. Remember when Ray Charles did an incredibly beautiful cover of America the Beautiful?
Yes.
That was fucking 40, 50 years ago, motherfuckers. Where did that sentiment go? Do you think more black people are being killed by cops today than they were when they didn't have fucking cameras on them? Shut the fuck up.
Absolutely not.
How come Ray Charles was mature enough and grateful to be grateful for this fucking country? How come? Stop, bro. You've been fucking duped.
Just like, even I feel like up until 2010, 2009, 2010, everybody was fine with being the American flag. Now y'all been psyoped out to thinking it's racist. Did you see? As a matter of fact, today Beyonce just dropped her album cover, and people are mad she had American flag. And they're talking about she went MAGA. Talking about this MAGA. I know you think Beyonce is MAGA, like no. This is she got a flag, like. in the
Right.
picture.
I guarantee that red on the American flag is made with baby blood.
I won't be surprised. It probably
Lizard
is.
bitch.
It's some type of ritual. Some type
Yeah,
of
I know exactly.
something.
Man, can you imagine? Do you think Jay-Z started out that fucking bot? I feel like Beyonce did. When I saw videos, I can't remember where it was, but I saw a documentary, behind the scenes shit back from like the 90s. Like she looked like she was hungry for fame. Like I feel like she probably sold her soul real quick. Jay-Z, I think in the 90s, probably still at his balls somewhere. Where do you think that line was crossed?
I don't know. I feel like Jay-Z. I feel like Jay-Z always been like
Yeah.
into some weird stuff. Because I saw some documentaries about him too. Like even like when he first when he first came out, like his first songs, he was saying things about like what's that? That's the guy. He's like some Satanist type of guy.
Not McVeigh.
He was talking about him and his music and stuff. Like one of his older albums. I feel like he always been on some weird shit.
Aleister Crowley?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
I think he said a verse about him like one of his older music. So I think he
Weird.
always been on some sell his soul type shit. And then he dragged Beyonce into it. Now they both just like some witches and wizards in the industry. Like
But I will say on the white pill tip, again, they're unimpressive people. Michael Malice talks about it all the time.
who's that?
Michael Malice, he's this libertarian commentator and artist.
Oh.
What's the word? Author. He's written a couple really good books. There's one I really love called The White Pill, and it talks specifically about the USSR and how actually Marxism was pretty easy to defeat. Like it. I'm going to float this idea and see what you think about it.
Okay.
Because it gets really easy in this game, especially with very scary times. Who knows if the grid's going to shut down this year? The FBI has already said, "Oh, it's MAGA going to shut down the grid." No,
I need to think about that.
it's China going to shut down the grid, and then NASA said, "No, it's solar flares." They're telling you something, kids. Anyway, buy food. Anyway, so it's scary times, and there's a benefit to those pieces of shit, the nefarious lizards, as I like to call them, when we're scared, right? Because they want us. They would rather we went to the FEMA camp than grew our own food, had our own water supply. But what if instead of thinking, okay, we need to just do something drastic because that's a fucking psyop, as we saw with January 6th, it was like, ooh, look, we're baiting you and you fall right into the trap with a bunch of feds all around you doing MAGA things, right? And now we get to take more of your money, more of your taxes, more of your time, more of the zeitgeist. Now we get to push this whole terrorism thing, right?
Yeah.
So rather than us getting psyoped into the next January 6th, what if we did peaceful non-compliance on a mass scale? Mass peaceful non-compliance. What might that look like? Well, what if, and it's not my idea, it's a guy named Model Anarchist on Instagram. He's floating this idea. What if on November 5th, regardless of who we vote for or what we're going to do, we all just took off our license plates? Just took them off. What would we do? Well, the cops would stop a couple of us, but when they realized, oh, there's like a way too many of them doing this for us to handle that much paperwork or that much manpower or that much whatever, eventually they'd give a couple of us consequences, but then when it reached a certain peak, and it doesn't have to be all of us, nowhere near. In fact, less than fucking probably 3% of us all just said, screw, boop, I'm going to keep that inside and see what happens. What if we all did, a bunch of us did that, and what could the fucking cops do? This is what you guys don't understand. Or maybe you do. I know you do. This idea of, oh, if I'm not enough, I'd have to follow. It's the law and order. If we just didn't play by the game, What in the fuck could they do? There's 331 million of us. Do you know there's only 800,000, 759,000 cops in the entire United States? Only that. We're 331 million of us. I'll give you another statistic. 1.2 million people are in the armed forces. And a lot of those are not soldiers, they're paper pushers, because bureaucracy loves to feed and grow bureaucracy. And a lot of those 759,000 cops and 1.2 million armed service people are ideologically in line with you and I.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So why are we scared?
That's a good question. And that takes me back to that Kanye quote when he was like, slavery is a choice. Because why are we scared? You get what I'm saying? Like and then not to mention people don't even want to become cops anymore. So it should be easier to even like do something like that. But what's holding them back? That's a good question. I guess we may never know. Why are you scared?
Right. And maybe because I feel like that's the first move, rather than us say the thing that I'm not going to say because the feds would knock on my door. Rather than that, although I make memes about it, you can find me on @Peter_Feliciano. But rather than that, what if we first did mass peaceful noncompliance and just said, oh, we're going to do something silly like take our whatever. And then if they did decide to make the move, then we know what to do. But, and I wouldn't say it here because, but what if we first just tried that? You know what I mean? I just feel like there's so many options in our tool belt that we haven't even started to look at. We've just gone, why isn't this system working the way we want it to? Let's either get violent or vote in the new savior. No, guys, there's other options.
Actually, that might be possible though. If people convince so many people to come out en masse at the Capitol, why can't we do something like that?
Do you know the German Democratic Republic? Have you read into any of that? The GDR over in the East Germany?
No.
When the wall fell in 1991, all that stuff. Oh, yeah. So they had communism over on East Germany. And part of the way that ended, they tried their best to stop all these protests, but they were peaceful protests. And it got so big that literally they had 1 million people I think it was over 1 million people surrounding the main office. Mm-hmm. And they were all chanting, we're not going to harm you, but we're not going to play the game anymore. So they even put it in their chant, hey, we don't want violence, but we're not going to play the fucking game anymore. We're not going to be in communism. We don't want this. We've told you 1 million fucking times. Now there's 1 million of us peacefully out here saying fuck around.
Right.
And they closed it down. They closed it down. They won.
I don't know. Like, I just like now that you brought this up, like I've been so nervous. Like last time Trump and Biden ran against each other, I did put a virus out to like fuck up the election. So now I'm thinking like, okay, it's a rematch. Are they gonna do something else? Like,
yes.
This is it. Why we should do something.
Right. But if we all took our chess pieces off the board, then it wouldn't matter, right?
You're right. But I just feel like these people are so power thirsty and hungry that they'll do anything. Like, okay.
Right. No, for sure. They're absolutely, like I said, I feel like personally, probably the grid will go down for a couple months and
months. Oh, don't say that.
I could be wrong. I hope I am.
I hope so.
But and that'll make a lot of people go, oh shit, I need the government. And the government will say, yes, you do.
I need Democrats and their government assistants.
Right. Or we need to postpone the election because there was
the machines aren't working.
Yeah, the machines aren't working. Oh, there was a terrorist act from the illegal immigrants that came in. So now we need to implement digital ID.
Some shit like that.
But what if we were all doing our own thing and the government was doing, I'm really serious, you need to, and we said, nice. And we continued to milk our fucking cows. It wouldn't matter. The reason why Waco, in my personal opinion, the reason why Waco and Ruby Ridge and all this shit happened is because it was one motherfucker. It was one compound. It was one family home. There's 331 million of us and only 58,000 cops in the country. Come on, bro. We are too much to handle, not just physically, but I'm saying paperwork wise, manpower, all that stuff. If we just took our kickball and said, I'm not playing a game anymore, and did our own thing with sustainable, food and water and self-defense and all this shit. If we just built our own little world, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. So all I'm saying, it may be too late to do that for a lot of us before the coming PSYOP. Hopefully I'm wrong. But if you're doing little things like this, you know what this is? This is fucking a glass jar. It's a mason jar.
Yep.
Okay. It's literally 13 cents on Amazon. It's super fucking cheap. These lids were probably $10 or whatever for like 6 of them, right? As this came with a stainless, so the stainless steel and glass. Now, why am I saying this? Because this is a small step towards fuck your plastics. A small step towards I'm filtering my water through a zero water. A small step, which is like as expensive as like a Brita, but is way, way better.
Yeah.
Like it's a small sovereignty step towards fuck all your shit and your little, machinations. I'm going to do my own thing. And the more of us, it's a human axiom, I personally believe, that we get good at whatever we practice. We got really good at being afraid the last 50, 60, 70, 100 years.
Yeah.
What if we started flexing the muscle of doing stupid little shit like this, of doing our own thing? What could they fucking do?
I feel like that's such a good idea. But like, especially now, some people live in like, they don't even, like, they fucked up in society so much. People don't even live like in the countries no more. We all in these populated fucking cities and we can't even like grow shit. Like we all we living on top of each other in these apartments and stuff. No gardens, no nothing. Dirty ass water. Oh my god! Don't get me started on California's tap water. Like sometimes I turn on my sink and I even like it smells like this is like recycled like water or something. Like it just has like an odor to it. Like you know what I'm saying? And they are actually about to start doing that. So I'm like.
Yeah, and there's actually we'll wait and see what the judge says, but there is actually a lawsuit against the EPA, the first of its kind, in San Francisco over the fluoride in the water. Mm-hmm.
It's good.
So we'll see. Before we wrap up, I want to know what in the fuck is Geechee? What is that? I don't understand. It's a whole nother cultural thing that I'm like, I thought I knew black people. What in the hell is this?
No, see, that's the thing. Nobody knows about that culture in the South. And I feel like, if anything, like everybody should be learning about that in schools. Like, I feel like black people, like the Geechee black people in the South, we preserve like a lot of culture we had like since like the 1800s, stuff like that. Like we the only group. Maybe them and like some people like Louisiana, like if you like it's like Creoles or like things like that. But I feel like it's an ethnic group in America, but yet people calling us African American. We never been to Africa. I just feel like a lot of people in America have different ethnic groups, but they just didn't. A lot of people don't know. Like even like white people. Like you talk to white people in like Louisiana or at the South, like in some rural town, that's different from a white person in fucking Los Angeles. Like I feel like it's like ethnically different, but we don't really know like who they are.
So what state does Geechee come from?
But I'm from South Carolina.
Okay, so that's kind
of like the coast. It's like the Atlantic coast, like from South Carolina to Florida, like where like the so-called slave trade was at.
Okay, and how does it differentiate as far as like? I mean, I know you posted a video of like girls talking in Geechee, like it's like a broken English type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like we have like our food, like you ever heard of red rice?
No.
Yeah, see, it's like a food like we eat in the South. Like it's these if you go like on the market in downtown Charleston, they got like talk about the sweetgrass baskets. A lot of them used to make. It's like a lot of culture. Even like we got our own like we talk different.
Right.
Like sometimes I talk like I got an accent. People ask me if I'm from Jamaica. I'm like, no, I'm from South Carolina. Like y'all don't even know nothing about us. Like it's not we from here, just like everybody else.
Right.
It's a lot. It's like you should definitely look into it for sure.
Okay. I mean, I live in Texas now, so
I have over there, but yeah.
Right. It's not a lot. What's fucked up? Because it's again another spiritual axiom, but it's true. Austin is one of the whitest fucking towns in Texas, and that's why it's so liberal. It's not compared to fucking New York where I came from, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do want to learn more about that southern shit. I have visited New Orleans once or a
Oh,
couple of times. Had
yeah.
a really good food. Is it Creole? The food similar to Creole or no?
Yeah, similar. I would say
Okay.
so. Yeah, except that I got introduced to like New Orleans like type of food when I came over here though, because I feel like California black people is different from black people in the South. Like I feel like their soul food and stuff is more Louisiana type soul food, but and then, like the South is like a different like we eat different things. It's very similar, but we cook different dishes. Like I never had like red beans and rice until I came over here. We had red rice. You had like red beans and rice. You know, you ever had that?
I've had red beans and rice. I've never had red rice. Is it literally red, or they just put some sauce in it?
It comes off red because they put tomato paste in it. So it
Okay.
turns like an orange reddish color.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I dig tomato with rice. That sounds a little
It doesn't even taste like tomato.
okay.
You don't taste the tomato at all. I think it's added for the color. You barely even taste
All right.
tomato at all.
I mean, I'm down to fucking eat pretty much anything. Well, fucking A. Thank you so much, Amber McTerry, ladies and gentlemen. What a great conversation. We solved the world's problems. We
Yeah.
talked about Geechee.
Talking about solutions for the future.
Solutions for the future. We dunked on Charles fucking Barkley.
Yeah, right?
Before we wrap, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Starring Amber. Amber has 2 R's on the end. If you can see it, it's right down here. That's also my name on TikTok. But on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, you can find me at Miss Info Show, then with 2 underscores afterwards. I'm trying to build my X platform, so yeah, y'all can like find me on there.
Yeah, you would be fun on X. You would be fun because it's a very like I always write my tweets and then like put them aside and let them like marinate. You're like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we
I
need
like
more of that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
like it too. So it's coming along.
And how often do you release the Misinformation Show? How often do you release an episode?
I've been lately. I've been doing it like every other week, but now I'm trying to do it every week now. So hopefully that's the goal to do it every week. But I have an episode coming out this week.
Awesome. What's the topic?
I'm talking about this TikTok stuff, and talking about Joy Reid. I've been on my Black American thing lately. Joy Reid. First, I didn't even know her parents were from Africa. Did you know that?
Wow. See, this is the rabbit hole. This
Exactly.
is interesting. Okay.
Exactly. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I didn't know that, so I'm going to talk about that. Yeah, those are 2 main things. Other things is like some clips. So yeah.
Awesome. The Misinformation Show. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, starring Amber McTerry, aka Misinformation. Wherever you're listening, make sure you share, subscribe, rate, and review, or you're racist. I'm serious though. Seriously, leaving a comment helps the algorithm. I'm so fucking shadow banned up in this bitch. The white liberals hate me. So make sure you follow, like, save, share, all the stuff because it helps me bump up in the algorithm. You can find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. You can find me on Twitter at Rule62Peter. And you can find me on YouTube and Rumble and all that shit. Love you all very much. Have a wonderful night. I'll go ahead and end the live stream now. Bye.